Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So we're back with the True Boxing podcast. This is my 15th episode overall. It's been a cool ass minute since I've been on. My boy Melly's with me again. What's going on, Mel?
Man.
Right on, man. So we're gonna be discussing overall pretty much 2024 so far, but we want to kick it off with talking about the big pay-per-view card that's taking place this weekend, the Crawford Madrimov card from LA, as a Riyadh season brought to us by Turkey Al Sheikh is continuing. And I mean, I'm really looking forward to this card, man. What do you think, Mel?
I think it's a really good card, really good card. Plus I get to see my boy Bug back in the ring, back in the new division.
Yeah. Bud's one of my favorite fighters too, so I'm really looking forward to it. So I want to go do some predictions. So let's kick it off on the undercard. I guess we could start with the heavyweight matchup: Jared Anderson against Martin Bakole. What do you think about that one, bro?
Really good matchup. Really good matchup. I feel like Martin Bakole, he's been looking for that, that big name opponent, try to get himself in the competition with the other big name. And Jared, he looking for that big win, like the surf, like I'm the next top American heavyweight, like I'm the next top guy.
Yeah. I like the matchup right here because Jared Anderson is like his biggest test, and it's on a big card too. So it's like hey, he's got a chance to show out right here and show what he's really all about. And I think after this is probably there's not going to be any more excuses. Bacole's bigger than him by a couple inches. I think it's a really good matchup, man. I really do.
Like we was on the phone earlier. Like I said, for Jerry Anderson, this is his put up a shut up fight.
Yep. This test to see.
I said, really good opponent. You can make Kid Bakole probably in the lower top 10, upper top 15, and it's on a big platform. So this is like your opportunity.
Yeah, it really is his chance to prove what he's made of, and if he belongs in the top 10 for real, right here. So
I feel like if he were to get this win, if Jerry Anderson were to get this win, I would. If he were to beat Bakole, I would really like to see him versus Zane.
Yeah. I want to see what he does after this, because fighting on a card like this is only going to get him bigger fights later down the road.
Especially if his performance matched the platform.
Yeah, he's got to bring it in this one. So, what's your prediction on this fight? It's a tough one.
See, my gut telling me Jared, but from watching a few of Jared fight, he got a little like. Jared has a tendency to rely on his athleticism a little too much instead of actual defense. I noticed that in the Charles Martin fight, he was getting caught with some punches. He got hurt at one point, badly at one point too.
Yeah,
and like he trying to use his athleticism and his just how to like and the head moving away out of every punch, and they were getting him caught. So I'm gonna say Jared Anderson 9-10 round knockout.
Yeah, I'm going with Anderson, but I mean, I think it might be, because I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm going with him because I want him to win. But it's going to be a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if Bakole wins this fight, man. So I'm gonna say Anderson by late stoppage also, or I think it could even go to the scorecards, man. He could win a decision here, so should be interesting. Next up is undefeated Andy Cruz taking on veteran Antonio Moran. Andy Cruz kind of a guy on the rise right now, taking on a veteran like Moran, lightweight fight. This is a big stage for Andy Cruz, only in his 5th pro fight, man. I got him winning this one. I think he's gonna stop.
I think he's gonna handle business. I think he's gonna handle business pretty well. I think we just trying to see how far he's progressed with returns. You got to think about it. He's almost in his 30s already, so he gotta speed through it.
Yeah.
Plus, I want him to win because I want to see him versus Keyshawn fight. I think that's a big fight waiting to happen.
Yeah, down the road, I think that's a good one too. So
Keyshawn is right there on Keyshawn. I feel like right there on the cover fighting for a title. he gets that title, and SA Crew get him more and get some more experience in him, say about three more fights in. I feel that's a big
Yeah.
fight waiting to happen. He already got a built-in backstory and everything.
Yeah. So next up, we got David Morrell fighting for the regular title at 175 against Hot Rod Kalajic. What do you think about him?
I feel like this fight more just to see how he's gonna look at the new weight and try to get him, put himself in a position to fight for a title mandatory. Honestly, I feel like the only route after this fight is David Benavidez. They both at 175. They both ain't got nothing to do after this fight because Benavidez fighting in October, so they got nothing to do on the second half of the year. So they might well fight each other afterwards.
I don't think David wants to fight him. I absolutely agree that it was David. David was supposed to fight Morrell before he got Caleb Plant and the Boo fight. And now I hate Morrell, but if he got no choice, I think he's a fight Morrell is chasing David.
You're breaking up a little bit, my guy. You breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm saying that Morrell, I think what I like about him is that he's chasing David to 175. He wants that big fight. And Hot Rod's a good test, man. He's a former world title challenger. He's a pretty good opponent. I like Hot Rod, man. I think he's a good opponent for Morrell.
I think it's a good first step off. I think it's a good
Yeah.
first step. Then
Yeah,
also if he wins, they put him in good position to become a mandatory fight for a title.
Yeah, well, actually, this is for the regular light heavyweight title, so I think they're bringing the regular belt back here at 175 since we're about to have an undisputed champ at 175. So this gives Morrell a chance to put himself at the front of the line.
Here's the thing, though. That's why I say it makes more sense for him and David Benavidez to fight. Benavidez has the WBC entrant title, and Morrell, when he get the WBA regular title, they fight when it's double mandatory.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing is a lot of these guys don't. Once they're mandatory, they don't want to fight multiple. Yeah,
I think that's another problem with boxing that people don't talk about enough. Dudes be squatting on their spot.
Yeah. Oh well, especially guys that haven't earned it. Like this William Skull guy. I don't want to break. Yeah, I don't want to break off.
I can say the same thing for Edgar Berlanga. As soon as he got put in position WBA mentor, he basically shut down. He was not trying to fight at nobody.
Yeah, and I think that's sad when you have an undisputed champion. You should have to fight some of the other mandatories to earn a shot at all the belts.
I agree. I think there's a difference between you fighting for a single title and you fighting for the undisputed title. You got to have
especially when especially when you didn't beat anybody, for the most part, because a lot of these people don't understand is these boxing organizations with the title belts, all you have to do is pay more money and you get ranked higher. Yep. That's how it works. So
people shitted on John Ryder, but like I say, at least John Ryder, at least he beat Zach Parker, at least he beat Daniel Jacobs. And you can argue he honestly beat Caleb Plant, but got that bad decision out there in that home when he fought with Caleb Smith in his hometown. So he had some credibility. Berlanga has not proven anything to make this fight interesting.
Yeah. Hey, we got a somebody listening. Boxing Learner says, "What's up, guys? What's going on, man?" I'm looking forward to this one. I'm going Morrell by a TKO, so maybe in the middle rounds. What do you think?
I'm gonna take Morrell knockout within the first 5 rounds. I think he go out there. I feel like he goes out there and get a knockout within the first 5 rounds and call out Benavidez. I think that put a lot of pressure on him to make that fight happen.
Right on, man. Right on. All right, well, let's keep it moving. Next up, the other big heavyweight fight, Andy Ruiz Jr. and Jarrell Big Baby Miller. What do you think about that one, man?
I feel like I think that fight's gonna go the whole 12 and it's gonna be an entertaining fight.
Yeah, but they're fighting 10.
I really don't. Let me take that back. I don't see you going 12 because Big Baby's cardio is terrible. So I think Andy might get a knockout in the later round just because Miller might be tired by then.
Well, the thing is, I'm going oppo from you. I'm picking Miller, and I'll tell you why. Miller had some good moments against Dubois. Dubois boxed a really good fight. He fought him well, and Miller came in really, really out of shape, as we all know. But Miller, I watched the announcement for this fight right here. I watched the whole press conference, and Miller made some good points. He said he took the fight with Dubois on short notice, like 4 weeks notice. He said he's going to be, in better shape, and I believe that. And Andrew Ruiz hasn't fought in like 2 years, and bro, the last 2 fights he had against Areola and then Luis Ortiz, he didn't look good.
That's another thing with Andrew Ruiz I kind of don't like is he sat around trying his best to get a payday.
Yeah. And he hasn't looked that good.
And that's another thing about Andrew Ruiz I've been wondering, like, I was like, watching the moves he made in the past year, I'm like, who's managing his career? Because, like, he's really Andrew Ruiz has outpriced himself out of some big fights.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I just think Jarrell Miller, because he really, like I said, I thought if he would have been in better shape, he might have beat Dubois, so.
What you think about the winner of Miller and Ruiz facing the winner of Jared Anderson and Bacoli?
I like that a lot. I think the winner right here could fight that winner. And actually the winner here, this is a true crossroads fight. The winner, you can still take seriously in the heavyweight division.
I feel like it's a lot more critical for Andy.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Yeah.
Andy wants to not just to get to be able to get big payday, but to still be considered among at least the top 7 or 8 guys. Andy has to win this fight.
Yeah, and I don't think Jarrell Miller cares about that as much, because I think he's okay with being like a gatekeeper and just keep getting paydays and paydays.
I feel like a guy like Jarrell Miller, he's going to always kind of wind up in a meaningful fight. He's, like you said, he's a gatekeeper type of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think part of the reason he doesn't care is because a lot of people have written him off since those, positive drug tests he had and all that shit. So, I think for him, he's kind of like in a no lose situation kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like but I think he really wants this one, and I'm picking him to pull off the win here. So I think it's going to be a good fight though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So the co-feature, Isaac Cruz, Pitbull taking on El Rayo, Jose Valenzuela, man. I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
I don't see that fight going past 8 rounds, but I will say this. I kind of feel like this is Rayo fight to lose.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like he's the faster fighter. I think he's a little bit more skilled, and he has the height and reach advantage. If he knows how to use his tools right, he can possibly win this fight. But I feel like if he goes out there and tries to make it a shootout, it's going to put him in a bad position.
Yeah, hey, boxing learner. Yeah, man. I'm picking El Rayo to win the fight too. I did a breakdown video of this fight. I'm looking forward to this one.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think there's how possible of a chance do you think it is that the winner of this fight is going to be Tank's next opponent?
I think it's highly likely, man. I don't think Tank wants to fight Shakur Stevenson.
I don't see when it comes to Shakur, I'm a big fan of Shakur. When it comes to Shakur, it's interesting because his last performance, I didn't think his last performance was as bad as people try to make it seem. Like, obviously, he didn't get the knockout he promised. But a lot of the things people said Shakur didn't do in the De La Santo fight, he did in the Arnold fight. He walked. He was in the Arnold fight, he was the one pressing the action majority of the fight.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Shakur's problem is when it comes to the offensive side of things, he's not going to take that risk unless it's a high chance he's not going to get tagged back.
Well, I actually want to talk about this, and when we get to the lightweights in a little bit, you're making some really good points that I have some really good. I have some opinions on. We'll get to that in a little bit about that. But I really believe that the winner of this fight is the front runner for Tank.
Yeah,
It's
also the fact you got to think about it too. I would not be surprised if the winner of this fight fights Tank at the end of the year, and not only that. They put the WBA 135 and 140 title on the line because the WBA has done that before for Tank. Remember
Yeah, they did that against
the
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz fight. They had
Yeah,
the 130 and the 135 on the line. So I can really see them doing the same thing for the Rayo Cruz winner.
yeah. I think that'd be possible. Especially since both Cruz and Rayo, they both barely came up from lightweight.
Yeah, they both
So,
lightweight. They really
yeah,
both still lightweight.
yeah.
Now,
So
my thing about Cruz is that Cruz, he's an entertaining guy, but he's not. To me personally, I don't see what everybody else see, and the reason why I don't see what everybody else see is because Pitbull Cruz has been maneuvered very carefully.
yeah,
They have, and we keeping it completely honest. Post Tank, El Rayo was the most dangerous opponent he fought.
I think so too. Especially
I can
consider.
make I can make
Yeah,
a case. I can make a case that I don't think I make. I think it's almost a fact that Rayo is probably the first dangerous fight he's took in post Tank.
yeah. I think
I think you can legitimately say Rayo was the first dangerous fight a fight that Cruz can realistically lose that since the Tank fight.
yeah, and I think Valenzuela needs to really look at the fight from last year that Cruz had with Giovanni Cabrera
Yes,
and
yes.
box. If he can
I
box
feel
and
like he
punch
can
and
go out
not get
there.
into a slugfest, if he cannot get into a slugfest with Cruz and he can use his height and reach, I think he wins this fight. Honestly, I think he
feel
wins
like
it easy.
from watching Cruz fight, I don't think it's that hard I don't think it's that hard for a guy to beat Cruz.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think if
Because you gotta think
Valenzuela
about
fights
it.
the right fight, I think he could beat Cruz easily.
Cruz does not throw a jab at all.
Yeah,
It's strictly hooks.
yeah.
Hooks and uppercuts.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think Valenzuela can win this fight easily if he fights the right fight. But if he gets into a
Goes out
brawl with
there,
them, yeah, it's going to be bad if he gets
but
into a brawl with him. To be
but I
honest.
feel like similar to what I was saying, I don't see it going past 8 rounds, so I feel it's gonna turn into a shootout at some point.
Yeah. But
And I feel
I
that's gonna
got.
come down, and that's where I get the worried about Rayo because I think Rayo is probably a harder hitter than Cruz, but I think Cruz has a better chin than Rayo does.
Yeah, but I think Rayo's his confidence is through the roof after the way he handled Colbert.
Isn't Rayo training with Robert Garcia?
I believe so. Yeah, and he
That's a good. That's a
yeah,
good.
what and he smashed Colbert in his last fight, man.
See, I
So
like how he looked in
yeah,
the Colbert fight. He was
yeah,
patient, wasn't rushing the knockout.
yeah. So
But see,
it's gonna.
Cruz, I feel like if Rayo can stay on point, stay patient, not put himself in, not get too excited trying to jump in the firefight, he can probably get the win off. But I feel like
Yeah,
he tries to make it a shootout. I feel like Cruz is probably gonna catch him.
I think he's gonna box him, and I see him. Actually, I see him stopping Cruz probably in the 9th or 10th round, man. That's how
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna
see it.
lie, it'll kind of be hilarious watching the reaction of Cruz when he get knocked out.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I feel like
interesting.
people have kind of deluded themselves to Cruz level.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's just because of his style. They like his style so much
Yeah,
that
his style, he's
yeah.
entertaining for sure. But we were talking about this earlier. I asked the same question. Did the Rolly win show y'all that much?
Well, I think Rolly's one of the most overrated fighters I've ever seen. So.
I feel like no, I legitimately think Rolly is one of the. I think Rolly is one of the worst champions in the past 30 years.
Yeah, he's yeah.
And the reason why the Rolly win didn't show me nothing because let's be honest, my guy. Let's be honest. Everybody knew whoever Rolly defends that title against first, he's going to lose to. That's why you seen as soon as Rolly got that belt, everybody was calling Rolly out.
Yeah.
Because they knew whoever get that fight, they're going to beat Rolly.
Yeah. So, who you picking in the fight, bro?
Man, I'm gonna go Rayo. I'm gonna go Rayo on that.
Yeah, I mean, me and you both, where we agree on that one.
On that. Just because Rayo got the necessary tools to get the win.
Yeah.
But does he have the IQ to do it?
Yeah.
Because Cruz Cruz is going to try to bait him into a firefight.
Yeah,
Because
but
that's Cruz' best.
I think he's learned a lot from the loss to De Los Santos, and then the way he got robbed against Colbert in that first fight. I think he learned a lot coming back and knocking him out. So yeah, I think he's going to pull it out too. So, all right, well, let's move on to the main event. You know, one of my favorite
Bud
fighters,
versus
one of your
Madrimov.
favorite fighters, Bud against Madrimov for the title at 154. Man,
I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Now, Israel Madrimov, the experience is gonna be a big key in this fight because Bud has the experience advantage for sure.
yeah.
Madrimov could make it. I think for the first, let me say 5-6 rounds, it's gonna be kind of even. Because I think Bud gonna take Bud about 5-6 rounds to try to figure out where he's going. I think Bud getting a knockout. I think the knockout streak continues.
Okay, that's a guy. I'm going to go against you and say that he's going to win by a decision. But you know why? Because I think Bud's going to be a little bit more cautious moving up the new weight class. You know, he's an older fighter, but also the Canelo fight seems like that could happen. So
yeah, I think that I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest. As when Canelo versus Berlanga got announced, that almost confirmed to me that he was fighting Bud afterwards.
yeah, and I think Bud, of course, he's gonna wait for those perfectly timed shots that he has, and if he hurts Madrimov, he's gonna jump on him and try to finish it for sure.
See, that's the thing about Bud. I always try to say about Bud. When people say Bud power, I think Bud has power for sure. But to me personally, I've always considered Bud more of a finisher than a power puncher.
Well, his timing is perfect. That's where his power comes from. It's his perfectly timed shots. That's why he's so powerful.
I describe Bud like this. His style like this. Bud, he's a different type of knockout artist. He boxes to the knockout. He will box you until the knockout is there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is he lands punches that you can't see, so those punches hurt more.
And then,
you know.
And then Bud, I can make Bud the best finisher in boxing because once he hurts you, he's not going to give you any time to even realize what's even going on.
The guy has not seen 12 rounds since 2016, and he even scored what was it, 2 or 3 knockdowns in that fight.
That crazy thing about it, Bud. The last time Bud went to a 12 round, he was 2 divisions lower.
Yeah, and it was against Postal, who can take shots, you know. So
I feel like I hope Bud wins this fight because I want to see Bud in a big fight afterwards.
Yeah, well, whether it's Canelo or whether it's Pandora or Spence,
I feel like a Bud were to fight Canelo. I don't want to see Bud. I think Bud coming in at 168. But I think Bud should come in around 163. 164 in that fight. I don't think he should come in that fight big.
No, I don't think so either. He needs to stay mobile. So, yeah. But, well, speaking of Canelo, let's move on to the announcement of Canelo and Berlanga. They're taking place September 14th.
I'm gonna be real with you. Edgar Berlanga is the worst opponent Canelo has faced in Andy Yildirim.
It's the worst opponent he's fought since he fought that one guy.
Yildirim.
Yeah, the guy that fought Anthony Durrell to a draw. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Yeah.
See, like I don't.
Yildirim. Yeah.
They're really trying to. Edgar Berlanga. I'm gonna be real. When it comes to Edgar Berlanga, it's just hard to take him serious. Just literally last year, Edgar Berlanga team was offered a Jaime Munguia fight, and his team didn't even think he was ready for Jaime Munguia.
Yeah. Well, I think if Berlanga, it'd be more believable if Berlanga would have kept his undefeated streak, or if he would have fought that. What was that English guy that Boo Boo knocked out
Jason
in 2 rounds? Yeah, he fought him last year, and he struggled with him.
He got hurt. He got caught multiple times. Went the full 12 rounds at a higher division, and that same dude, Boo Boo, the thing about this, everybody called Boo Boo a pillow 50 fighter.
He knocked him out in 2 rounds.
He stopped Quigley in 2 rounds.
Yep.
And Edgar is supposed to be a power point. He went the full 12 at a higher division.
Ever since he stepped up the competition, he has not looked good, man.
What makes it worse is he didn't even step up that high.
No, it was like he stepped
went from
up
D
from
level
like
dudes to journeyman.
Yeah, well, he went from D level to like C level at best,
and it was like the drop off was crazy.
Yeah, big time.
Like he literally struggled with a dude so much he had to bite him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the opponent selection either for Canelo. I'm
not really surprised though, because let's be real, Canelo is in that final stage. I'm getting that bread. I'm getting the bread, man.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like that he's not fighting David, bro. Okay, if like I'm a Canelo fan, bro. I really am.
I think Canelo. I actually pick Canelo to beat David.
Oh, I do too. I do too. The point, my point is this: is that what I don't like about what Canelo's doing, I do respect, because I'm a big Canelo fan, but
I don't like Canelo's logic for why he don't want that fight.
Well, I like, if Canelo wants to, he's at a stage where if he wants to do whatever the hell he wants, that's fine. But give up the belts then.
Yeah, and I was just telling somebody the other day also, I think Canelo, he really wants to retire with the belts.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he's already lost one of them. And I just don't think they're going to wait around for him while he does this picking and choosing. Like, I didn't mind the Jaime Munguia fight because Munguia had just smashed John Ryder, and I really had Munguia at number 3 in the division when he beat him. So I'm like,
Munguia,
all right.
I wasn't a big Munguia fan, but like you said, Munguia, he had some credible wins.
Yeah.
John Ryder,
it's just Berlanga's barely.
Rosado.
Berlanga's barely in the top 10, bro. Like,
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Berlanga could beat Beck the Bully.
Yeah, there's a bunch of dudes that I don't think Berlanga beats in the top 10.
Be real with you. You put Edgar Berlanga in there with Gabe Rosado, I give Gabe Rosado at least a 40% chance of winning that fight.
Yeah. So, and Risotto's like the ultimate gatekeeper, you know?
Risotto's calling him out. He didn't even seem that interested in fighting Risotto. And that was like a layup.
Yeah. So
that was a layup.
Yeah. So I think we both agree that this is
I'm gonna be honest, if that fight goes to 4-12, I'm be disappointed.
Yeah, Canelo will definitely. You'll know then that he's really not like if on the elite
12,
level.
I'm gonna be real. If that fight goes 12, I'm gonna be convinced Canelo just trying to get money, just in cruise control at this point.
Yeah,
I can see him just going. I can see him just going out there working Berlanga for 12 rounds to keep himself in shape for the Bud fight. I can see him doing that.
Honestly, I'm really having a hard time seeing Berlanga go the distance. I think Canelo's going to top him.
I'm be honest. I want to see Canelo's flat out one shot Berlanga.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. If you're going to take a lesser opponent, to make him look like the lesser opponent.
Edgar Berlanga is one who's like you gotta knock him out, one shot him.
Yeah,
because the level is just the gap is so long. It's just like, bro, it should not go to 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Imagine Berlanga actually is winning rounds.
I can't see it. I really can't. Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, I don't even think they're in the same. They're fighting in the same sport, bro. So.
I'm like, let's be honest. I'm thinking about it. If I'm looking at 168 right now. I don't think Berlanga beats Canelo, Munguia. I don't think he beats Billy. I don't think he beats Caleb Plant. I think Boo Boo can come back. I think Boo Boo can come back right now and beat Berlanga.
I think Derevchenko beats him, bro.
I definitely think Derevchenko would beat Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah.
I think Derevchenko would beat Edgar Berlanga for sure.
Yeah.
Pacheco would beat Edgar Berlanga, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's like 7-8 dudes right there. I think Janibek can move it right now and knock Berlanga out in 6 rounds.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Let's start with the little guys under 122. And man, how about Bam, bro? Bam looked good against.
Bam did exactly what I expected, and Bam. And I'll be honest with you. I don't care what anybody says. Bam, in my opinion, right now the 5th pound fighter in the world right now. I got Bam in my top 5 right now.
I can't say you're wrong. Because
I feel like if anybody that's paid attention to the lower weight classes, bro, Bam in the past 2 years, Bam has been on one of the best runs in boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about
Yeah.
this. Think about this. Think about this. He moved up 2 divisions on short notice and beat Quadrates, who's a future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Then in his first title defense, he defended against another future Hall of Famer, SSR.
Yeah.
Then he moved down, won a title, then unified against Sonny Edwards, who many considered the #1 guy at 112.
And beat his ass.
Moved back up and beat Gallo at 115.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing about it though, Quadre, SSR, Edwards, and Gallo, he dominated those dudes. Those were not close fights.
Yeah. And who thought he was going to knock out Rungvisai the way he did, man? Oh, my
Yes,
Lord.
bro.
Yeah.
Like at that, bro, like he really he ran through him. He ran
Yeah.
through that man.
He beat his ass, like from
Like
start to finish.
the thing about Bam is like, I think I said it before. I'm willing to go on the limb and say Bam is probably going. Bam is for the lower weight class. Bam is a generational fighter for the lower weight class. I think his only competition right now is Nakatani. That's the only guy who I feel is on Bam's level.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I almost selfishly want to see Inoue stay at 122 just so he can end up fighting Bam.
Man, I would. Bam, if that fight ever even had a possibility of happening, that would fight. I would go out on a limb and say if Bam versus Inoue ever got made, that would be considered probably the biggest fight in history of the lower weight class.
Maybe, yeah. So especially with them both being undefeated, you know.
At the point these two are right now, I think both of them right now are currently in the top 5 pound for pound right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Let's say in the next year, I feel like it would be probably the biggest fight in the lower weight class. Let's say a catch weight. Let's say a 120 catch weight.
Yeah.
I think 120. Yes, 120.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be probably the biggest fight in the lower weight class in the history of the lower weight classes.
Yeah, I think the only guy, like I said, standing in Bam's way is Nakatani, like you said.
I feel like Nakatani is the other guy. And the thing about Nakatani is that dude is growing fast. That dude is growing.
Oh, bro. I mean, I talked to some Filipino fans when I made my prediction on that, and they were saying that they didn't think he was going to stop Astrolabio.
Bro,
and
I think how old is Junto? Like 25, I think.
Yeah, he's young, man. He's young. They call him the next monster.
I feel like Junto, at the pace he's going right now, I think Junto's prime year is going to be 22, 26.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the absolute peak of his prime. It's going to be 20. It's going to probably be 22, 26.
Yeah,
I think Bam only like 24 right now.
Yeah, he's only 24.
So I can make a case by the time Bam probably like say 28, 29, he'll probably be at 122.
Yeah. Well, I think though, I think Nakatani's going to fight in December against Inoue.
Then I think 115. I feel like there is some fights out there for Bam. You know, you got Martinez. You still got. I feel like you fight Martinez. Maybe you got a rematch with Gallo. Maybe.
Well, what I think Bam should do is maybe one more fight at 115, and if Junto moves up and fights Inoue in December, then I think Bam should move up and fight for that title that Junto had, that Nakatani had. You know, I think that makes a lot of sense to get him rolling because we might still be able to see Bam and the monster next year.
I know a good way for either Junto or Bam to create a hype for Inoue fight. Remember, Inoue's brother also has a belt at 118.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about Junto.
Let's say Junto go out and run through Inoue's brother.
Yeah. Oh, that would lock up a fight right there for sure. But how long is
the conversation started?
Yeah, but how long is the monster staying at 122? That's the thing we don't know.
That's the thing. I'm gonna be real. I don't see Inoue as one of those dudes who's want to fight past it. I feel like Inoue is the type of dude. I would not be surprised if Inoue by the time Inoue, let's say 34, 35, he retires.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Well, the
120.
thing is, he needs to fight the better fights, though, in my opinion. Like, I mean, 126, to be honest, if he moves up, I think he beats all those dudes. But I think the real threats are Bam or Nakatani. I think those guys have more of a chance of beating him realistically than the guys in the heavier weight class.
That's an interesting thought, though. Interesting thought. Now, if you were to ask me, the guys who I would like to see anyway fight before he calls it a day, it would be Junto. I would put Junto, Bam. I put Venado, Espinosa, and I would like to see him fight Shushu before he calls it a day, could call it a career.
Well, I'd like to see him fight Brandon Figueroa. I want to throw him in that
Brandon
mix.
Figueroa, that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, and then also Robeisy Ramirez. I want to see that one still. Yeah, yeah. So
Now,
it's going to be interesting to see.
Hear me out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like if Inoue went to 126 and won a title, I would not be shocked. I promise you, I would probably not be shocked if him and Loma met at a catch weight. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah. Well, I
don't
mean,
know. I
there's
don't
a lot
know.
of
I
talk
feel
about
like
Inoue and Tank fighting at some point. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. That fight, I think it's a crazy talk right now, but I feel like that fight is really because all it takes is the conversation to get started.
Yeah.
That's all
Oh,
you
and
need.
if Inoue continues to shut it down, and then say he takes a fight like next year in the U.S., you know, or he fights on one of these Saudi Arabia cards, bro. His you know, worldwide kind of global domination is just going to take off right there, bro. You know, everybody's going to know him after that. So I don't like the next opponent, bro. I don't like TJ Doheny. I think that's a
Yeah,
trash
they
ass
kicked
fight
him
right there.
somehow because he was known in Japan or some shit. Like I
Yeah.
feel like if that's what you're gonna do anyway, you might as well just go and go to 126.
Well, my thing is when you have guys like MJ there or Sam Goodman, because Sam Goodman is a mandatory in two of his 4 belts, and he beat TJ Doheny last year.
See,
You know,
MJ,
so
I feel like him versus MJ would have been a solid fight.
yeah, yeah. But I like Sam Goodman too because Sam Goodman beat Rais Salim last year,
I'm be
and
honest with
he
you.
beat TJ Doheny. So
I'll be honest. I would not be against Inoue versus Casemiro either.
I don't like that fight. Casemiro hasn't done shit to deserve
Just
it.
because
I know they don't like each other. Yeah,
I
but
want to see Inoue go ahead and sleep on one. They go ahead and
oh
sleep.
yeah. I know they don't like each other and shit, but I mean he hasn't done shit. I look back at his record, he hasn't done shit. So
I
yeah, but
thought him versus Sam Goodman would have been a good fight and want to go fight anyway.
well that's what I wanted to see. I think well he's gonna put Doheny to sleep. He looked great against Luis Neri. And you know, he did take a knockdown in that fight though, but he beat the shit out of him after that.
I feel like that knockdown got way overblown.
Yes and no. You know, it was more of a flash knockdown. You know, he kind of was he was a little stunned.
It's because anyway, you know how it's anyway, but I feel reason why because I feel like people were focusing more on the knockdown and kind of downplaying what happened afterwards.
Yeah, well, I think what it like for me, what I wasn't surprised because Neri has good timing, and you know Neri's a veteran. He's been there. He's got good hands, and I'm like, you know, I wasn't surprised necessarily, but the way he just came back and just destroyed him. I mean, you know, you got to look at a fight from top to bottom, and you're right, most people don't. But yeah, I mean, he looked good after that. It was almost like it pissed him off. You know what it reminded me of? After that, it reminded me of Pacquiao after Pacquiao would get hit with a big shot. You know, Pacquiao would get pissed off when he was younger and he'd bang his gloves together and just come back and throw harder. That's what Inoue reminded me of when that knockdown happened. But he looked good. Well, okay, let's ask the question. Who do you think he's going to fight in December?
I think he's going to fight Sam Goodman. I think that's who he's going to fight. I think he's going to be Sam Goodman.
Honestly, I'm gonna call it right now because it's a Japanese holiday, New Year's Eve. I think him and Nakatani is gonna happen.
That would probably be the biggest fight in Japan history.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, hey, let's move up to 126 and take a look at some of the stuff been going on there. You got how do you feel about Lopez and Angelo Leo taking place August 10th?
Bernardo, I got Bernardo running through, dude.
Yeah, I think Leo's going to give him a good fight.
I
It's just
think
Bernardo's he's
right
got
now,
too much skill.
I think right now Bernardo is the definitive #1 guy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, me too.
Now
I got him number one at featherweight.
as much as I want to see Bernardo fight anyway, I think I want to see him versus Espinosa first.
Well, Espinosa has to beat Robeisy Ramirez, and I don't know if he does. Honestly, I got Ramirez in a rematch, but I wouldn't be surprised if Espinosa wins. So that's going to be good because that fight's probably happening later this year. What about Ray Vargas and Brendan Figueroa? I think they might get together on Canelo. Yeah, me too. I think they might get together on Canelo's card or even on Spence and Fundora.
What do you see Nick Ball doing?
Nick Ball's with Queensberry, and there's some decent options if he doesn't get unification, which I don't think he's gonna get next.
Hey, I feel like since Stephen Fulton don't got a fight right now, why not do Stephen Fulton versus Nick Ball?
I don't know if Nick Ball wants that fight, bro. I don't know. See, Stephen Fulton is, he's quietly maybe the best boxer in that division. I like Stephen Fulton still. It was a shame to see him get his ass beat, but anyway, is a special fighter. So we know Stephen Fulton's coming in at some point. I think he should fight somebody else just to get his feet wet at featherweight first. But a fight that I could see happening that I think is going to be really good for Nick Ball if he takes it. Him and Joet Gonzalez, bro. I think that's a banger right there, bro. I think those two dudes that could be like a fight of the year candidate because Gonzalez just comes for it, man. That'd be a good ass fight. So, hey, bro, last one at featherweight, man. How about Ruben Villa getting upset last week, bro? Jesus, or a couple weeks ago, that was crazy. I'm kind of a little biased with Villa because he lives about a half hour away from where I grew up, and I was surprised that dude beat him because that dude was a straight up nobody, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, all right, let's move on to 130, man. Navarrete, you think him and Valdez is going to happen rematch?
Yes, I think it's going to happen simply because Conceição and Shaggy Foster got ordered again, which they should have been ordered again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think Navarrete, after losing at 135, it kind of derailed him. He's still got a belt. Why not unify?
He's going to beat Valdez.
Yeah, me too.
Here's the question, though. Can Nava make 130? He was the bigger guy at 135.
I think he can. I'll tell you why. Because he came all the way up from 122, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think he can still make 130. I don't think it had anything to do with the weight. I think it was the opportunity.
I feel like Navarrete, Dennis Bernanke did him a good job beating him because if he would have stayed at 135, he was gonna get ran through by somebody.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think the opportunity of either Shakur, but especially Vasily, because a lot of people had him fighting Loma next.
Nah, see, that's the thing. A lot of people tend to forget. The plan was for Nava and Loma to unify later this year.
Yeah.
Remember, they had Nava and Loma fight a week apart from each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that totally, Barianchek winning that fight just totally.
That derailed the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I agree with you about Conceição and Foster, bro. Like that fight totally should have been ordered the rematch.
I don't understand how you win a fight and you only land 11% of your punches.
Yeah, well, again, we can. This is my opinion. I had Foster winning the fight for sure, but what I didn't like about what he was doing was he was landing one punch at a time when he could have been landing combinations because Conceição was there to get hit. And I think Foster was too defensive, and I think that hurt him with the judges. I still thought he won the fight. I mean, no doubt. I had him winning like 8 or 9 rounds.
Hey, what do you think about the? What do you think of? You probably won't ask me about it. But what do you think about that Joe Cordina fight?
Oh, with Kakachi, shit happens. I mean, of course, it was a.
I'm gonna be real with you. That fight there. I feel like because like the guy that Joe Cordina fought, he didn't have a high knockout rate. So I feel like Cordina severely underrated bro power.
No, it wasn't that. I think because Cordina said it, and even Kakachi said it too, that late punch that landed that hurt
Wasn't
Cordina
that by
really
like the
bad.
third or fourth round?
It was in the third round, and that's when Kakachi took over. Now, yeah. So I also think though Cordina was a big dude at 130. That's why he said immediately he didn't even ask for a rematch. He said, "I'm moving to 135." I think the weight probably had something to do with it too, bro. So
I do.
well, yeah, and honestly, bro, he don't want nothing to do with the number one contender, Eduardo Nunez. That dude's a
That
beast.
guy been around.
Yeah. He knocked out Rakhimov. Yeah, and he's like 24-1 with 24 knockouts, bro. That dude's fucking a beast. So, what do you think about Kakachi fighting Josh Warrington next?
I'm gonna be real with you, Josh Warrington. If he really that big of a draw in the UK, I just gotta ask. Cause that dude can lose a fight after fight. He gonna wind up in a title fight regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
like Josh Warrington, he's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, I see that too because this dude's bigger. But I mean, Warrington he was a career featherweight, so I don't think he's going to be too undersized at 130.
One reason why I got Warrington get knocked out. Warrington have that head first style.
Yeah, he's going to get. Yeah, he's going to get hit for sure. I got Kakachi winning, but
and I'm gonna be real, Warrington. I'm gonna keep it completely honest. I just cannot forget how badly he avoided Mauricio Lara. He avoided the hell out that man, bro.
Oh yeah. But Lara hasn't looked good at 130. But Warrington was moving up to fight Lee Wood, and Eddie Hearn said that fight was close to being made. So
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, me neither, bro. I'm really looking forward to things.
I'm trying to see. Hold up, why not? Oh, I thought about something. What the guy name is? Raymond. Hold up.
Wait, Ray Ford?
Yeah, Ray Ford. No, the other guy. The other guy won the 130 champ, the WBA champ.
Oh, Lamar Roach.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against Lamar Roach versus Lee Wood.
Yeah, well, Lamar Roach, I think he's got a mandatory.
He got a mandatory order.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there, but yeah, I'm looking for 130. It doesn't have like a ton of huge names, but there's a lot of dudes willing to fight, and it's okay. It's a deep division. You got like Edward Vasquez, Zelfa Barrett, Rocky Hernandez. I mean, you got some good fighters in that division, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next at 130, like how the year ends. But let's go to a big division to talk about, 135, man. How do you feel? Do you feel Lomachenko is ducking Tank? What do you think?
He pulled out negotiations for. I wonder why I always wonder why he pulled out negotiations though.
Well,
because I remember Bob Aaron saying that they had started negotiating before the Frank Martin fight even happened.
And then after the fight, they said that negotiations were going really well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wonder what made Loma decide, you know what, I'm out.
Honestly, I think what he said is true, because why would he avoid the biggest fight of his career? You know, I don't think it was a money thing, unless Tank was asking for way too much money.
Somebody said a good point. I think it might be true. I kind of think Loma wants Tank and Shakur to fight each other first.
Yeah, I can see that, but why even entertain the fight at all?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
so they were pretty deep in negotiations also.
Well, and also remember, bro, ever since this conflict between the Ukraine and Russia took off, Loma hasn't fought a lot, you know, and his family still lives in the Ukraine. He says he wants to spend more time with his family. I mean, I don't see Loma as a guy that ducks people. So I honestly think maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he just right now doesn't have the fire, and he wants to spend some time with his family before the end of the year and then come back fresh next year, bro. I mean, shit, you know, I like Loma and I believe him. I've never seen him as a guy that ducks anybody. So I don't know. That's my take on it. So, Tank, Tank, that was, I mean, the punch he landed on Frank Martin. Does it worry you at all with his style that he gave away a lot of those rounds? What do you think about that?
I don't think I'm gonna be real, and I think you can say he gave us one, but I think it also with the fact beginning of the fight he was struggling to get past Frank's jab, But I think what Tank did though, he did a lot of calculated pressure. He wore Frank
Yeah.
Martin down.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. I just don't think that's going to work against everybody, especially somebody with a higher skill level like Shakur or like Lomachenko.
Tank. The thing about Tank is like I don't like comparing him to Wilder, but he got that Wilder factor where it's like Tank doesn't have to. He got that type of power to where you can win the whole fight, and one punch he'll take over the entire fight.
Yeah, it's just we haven't seen him against that top tier opponent yet.
Yeah,
and that's what I want to see.
I thought Frank Martin was a step in the right direction, personally.
Yeah, Frank Martin's a talented dude, for sure. But I honestly think he's going to fight the winner of Cruz and Rayo, like we were talking earlier. I don't think he wants Shakur, not yet. I just don't see that happening. Which is a shame because I like Shakur, but
I'm gonna be real with you. When it comes to Shakur, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do consider some of the like the guy that 135. Their logic is kind of like they'll say, "Well, I don't want to fight Shakur; he's boring." Then they'll go fight Gio or Maxie Hughes right afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I said we were going to talk about this, and we'll talk about it. So, my opinion on Shakur. And because I like Shakur, I've been saying for years, this ever since we first started talking. I feel like Shakur is going to be our future pound for pound king of boxing for sure. I think he's talented as hell. Here's the thing, because everybody keeps saying, like I heard Tim Bradley say this. Well, Mayweather played defense and all that kind of stuff.
Mayweather wasn't fighting like that. It's great.
Exactly. See, here's the difference. Mayweather used to be a boxer puncher and an attacker, and he knocked a lot of his opponents out for the first half, maybe even more of his career. When he moved up in weight and his hand injuries, that's when he started playing more defense. Shakur, I like Shakur. I've seen him be an attacker. Like when he beat Jamel Herring, beat the shit out of him. When he beat Oscar Valdez, he looked very good in that fight. And then that first fight at lightweight against that Japanese guy last year, he looked really good stopping him. I'm not saying he's got to stop every one of his opponents. I do think he needs to take more risks to be more entertaining. He's not an entertaining fighter. It's not. I like him. I watch him fight. But when you're going against a guy like Hartunian, whatever his name is, Shakur probably should have knocked him out. That's just my opinion. It's just if he wants people to be more interested, if he wants to make those big ass paydays, he's got to take more risks. That's just it. So
that is true, but it kind of interests me because like even before Shakur last two fights, these dudes wasn't rushing to fight him.
I'll tell you why. He's high risk, low reward. Right now, you can make some money with him, but you're taking a big risk against a guy that's going to make you look bad, right. And you're probably not going to make a lot of money. You're going to look bad, and you're not going to make a lot of money. Not a lot of guys are going to sign up for that.
Shakur, I always kind of say this right here. If Shakur Stevenson, I always feel that if Shakur Stevenson was an easy fight, it wouldn't be much of an issue.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But I think the problem that Shakur is a high-risk opponent with that style.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exactly what it is. So if you're not going to get, the bang for your buck, bro, if you're not going to make money and to take that risk, not a lot of dudes are going to want to do that. That's the business side of it. I get it, but it sucks because some guys should be taking a risk because he has a world title. You're going to get in a main event. You are going to make some money. Some guys, like a perfect example of a dude that should be taking a risk against him, I've seen you post on it, is William Zepeda. He's the #1 contender.
Bro, I'm going to be real. William Zepeda don't want that fight.
Yeah, and you know what's a shame, bro, is I think Williams Zepeda's style could give Shakur some problems because he throws so many fucking punches. You
Yeah,
know,
but William, he doesn't want that fight.
yeah, it's a shame though, right? Because I honestly think if there's one dude, and this goes for Loma, this goes for Tank, I think there's one dude because of how many punches he throws that could give Shakur problems. And I don't think anybody beats Shakur, but it would be William Zepeda, and he's the number one contender. Why is he not going to fight him? The
Like,
only thing, the only thing I can see him doing is, and Oscar doing is maybe go get a time first. That way, a unification bout will be bigger. You know,
I don't like. I won't see, and this is why I say Oscar and Zepeda don't want Shakur. If you don't want to fight Shakur Stevenson, stop talking shit about this man before every one of your fights.
yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Since Shakur came to 135 before every Zepeda fight, it's always we'll beat Shakur Stevenson. We want Shakur Stevenson out there. Then when the fight, think about this also, my guy. This is not the first time Shakur versus Zepeda been ordered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Well, we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see what he wants to do, man. Because
and and
yeah,
like Oscar just came out like not too long ago, literally like a couple hours ago. The reports came out that Shakur and Zepeda had like a verbally agreed to a fight and like on the Billboard Better Vehicle car. He come out talking about his fake news. It's like, bro, at this point, you don't really. I think it really comes down to he don't really think Zepeda can beat Shakur Stevenson. And also the fact, think about this also. Golden Boy don't have that much talent anymore.
no, they don't.
Ty Munguia's gone.
Yeah, they just
Ryan
lost
suspended with
Munguia.
PEDs.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah. So that
Arnold
means
Barboza is not gonna. Arnold Barboza is more like never gonna win a title. Jose Ramirez on the couple on the last stage of his career. It's like that's why I felt he's like, oh, screw you want to pay, you got to sign.
yeah, you got to sign, or he's going to protect Zepeda more. But I honestly believe that Zepeda is probably going to go after Barianchek next, is what I think, because he's mandatory in every governing body. So I
But
think he's probably going to go after him.
like, here's the thing, like, and like we were saying though, I feel like Zepeda, if you want your career, man, you got to speak up, bro, because
Yeah.
Oscar is making you look like a full-fledged duck out here.
Yeah.
And I really feel like Zepeda isn't speaking up because he doesn't really want to fight Shakur that much himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out at lightweight right here. Before we move on, Murataya, how do you think that fight with Farmer, how he looked
I feel like
against
it was
Farmer?
a good fight, and I really feel like it was a learning experience for Murataya. That really was his first time facing somebody with that experience and that style.
Yeah. I think it definitely confused him and threw him off. You could tell there was moments where he didn't know what to
feel
do.
like he needed that experience.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. All right, well, hey, let's move up to 140. Well, let's talk about it. Devin Haney and Ryan, man. What do you think? How do you think all that situation? What do you think about it?
I'm gonna be real with you. That situation is crazy because Devin got more heat than Ryan did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Ryan's a fucking joke. I'll be honest with you. He's an embarrassment. I understand he's got mental issues, but somebody in his family needs to take control of him. Devin, I agree with you, got more heat. But Devin, in all honesty, bro, whether it's more or less heat than Ryan, he's acting like a fucking baby, bro. He really is. He's acting like a baby about everything. It's one thing to complain to the athletic commission. He's just Devin doesn't know how to take criticism either, man. And I've been saying this. I've been saying about Shakur, about Ryan, about Devin, and about Teofimo Lopez, because they're all from the younger generation of fighters. Those guys are sensitive fucking babies. All of them.
Yeah, I do.
And
They do. They do respond badly to criticism.
they are social media babies, and Devin Haney he's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. I'm nothing against that. And I think even if you take the PED bullshit out of it, I think Devin, the 3-pound weight advantage that Ryan had was bullshit. I don't like that.
See, and another thing about it was, do you remember this? Do you remember how hard people were defending Ryan?
Yeah, I
And
don't
my
like
thing
it.
about Ryan was, when it came to the PED, it was like, you really listen to what Ryan is saying. He hasn't given a valid.
No, he denied it all the way, and he said somebody fucked with his sample. That's bullshit, bro. It's bullshit. So, yeah. But whether he knew he did it or not is irrelevant. He did it. He got caught, and just own it. That's it. Just own it and move on. But he's just so emotionally fucked up, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really lost all respect for Ryan Garcia. You still there, Mel? Melly, if you're there, bro, I can't hear you at all. You there, man? Mel. All right, guys. Melly says his service is acting up, so I'm just gonna roll through, the rest here. Talk about some more stuff. If Melly can get back in, then hopefully he can jump back into the conversation here. Gonna discuss a little more here at 140. Teofimo Lopez. Has looked like shit this year, guys. I mean, I'm just going to be straight with you. He did not look good against Jermaine Ortiz. And then he fights this Steve Claggett guy. And man, he looked bad. I mean, he just looked bad, just there's no other way of saying it. I mean, of course he won the fight. He outworked him, but that was a dude that was like, I mean, Teo should have blasted him, and he shouldn't have really taken a lot of shots. And I don't know. I just I'm unimpressed with Teofimo Lopez this year, like big time. And the fact that he doesn't want to fight his number one contender in Arnold Barboza, I think sucks too, because Barboza's kind of tailor made for him. Barboza doesn't have a lot of pop, and he's number one contender. So, and he comes straight forward. So Lopez, with his skill set, should be able to handle a dude like Barboza. And he's an undefeated fighter on the rise. I mean, why not fight him? What's up, Mel? You there?
Yeah, I'm still. Hey, my guy, I got to take it in for the night. Got to hit to work in the morning. Good talking to you.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man. We'll get at it again.
All right, my guy.
All right, man. Later. Yeah, guys. So, I'm just unimpressed with Teofimo Lopez. I'm just going to say that I'm unimpressed with him. And, hopefully he does something better in this second half of the year to move him back up the rankings, because you can't keep giving him too much credit for the Josh Taylor fight. Taylor has lost again since then to Jack Catterall. And it's just, like Lopez, boxing. It's one of those "what have you done for me lately" type sports, and Lopez just, he hasn't looked good in 2 straight fights now. At least he hasn't looked like his old self. And to be honest, outside of the Josh Taylor victory last year, I mean, I don't know. He hasn't looked like the same Teofimo Lopez since the Lomachenko victory back in 2020, if you want to be realistic. So it's going to be interesting to see how he finishes out the year. Jack Catterall, it was just announced today. He beat Josh Taylor earlier in the year. Good performance. I was impressed with that. Excuse me. I had him beating. I had it as a very close fight with Taylor in a rematch. I'm glad he got the win, though, just because he got robbed the first time. He's fighting Regis Prograis next. Looking forward to that fight a lot. But it was supposed to happen later this month. Not happening after all. It's going to happen in October now. They're going to pick up that date then. I think Catterall got injured in training. Isaac Cruz, the new WBA champ, potential rematch with Tank. Could be there. He's fighting Rayo Valenzuela. Me and Melly were talking about that earlier. I personally got Valenzuela winning, but if Cruz wins and he wins impressively, I really think he's the front runner to land that rematch with Tank. So we'll see. Liam Paro, big upset this year, man. Big upset, beating Subriel Matias. He's the new IBF champ. Latest news on him is that an all-Australian showdown could be in the works for him to fight former unified lightweight champ George Kambosos Jr. Personally, I don't want to see that fight, but I understand Eddie Hearn wants to bring him back to Australia, get a hometown fight in, see how that plays out. I'm looking forward to it. Alberto Puello, the new WBC champion. Really looking forward to seeing what he does. He's fighting Sandor Martin next, the mandatory number one contender. I could see that fight going either way, but I'm picking Puello to win, and then the winner has to fight Gary Antoine Russell. Josh Taylor didn't get the third fight with Catterall. I think Catterall did that on purpose. I think he wanted to fight somebody else after he got the win over Taylor because Taylor made him wait for so long. And that's what I think happened there. Then you got Jose Ramirez. Well, we just heard Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barbosa Jr. that they're going to fight in September. So that's going to be a big one right there. Really looking forward to that. Jermaine Ortiz looked good against, he looked good against Lopez, Teofimo Lopez for the title. Not sure if he's moving back down to 135 or not. Really looking forward to seeing what he does next. Subriel Matias lost his title. That sucks, but he needs to jump back on it and try to get back into title contention. Looking forward to seeing if maybe he could. I really like a fight with him and Gustavo Limos, who kind of was on the shitty end of a bad decision against Richardson Hitchens. So looking forward to that. Gary Antoine Russell came up short against Alberto Puello for the WBC interim title, but the WBC has moved him in line, as I said a little while ago, to fight Alberto Puello, or the winner of Puello and Sandor Martin. So he's got a title shot coming. And as I said, Barbosa's fighting Jose Ramirez next. Moving on to welterweight. As we know, Bud's moving up to 154 this weekend. I got him beating Israel Madrimov at 154. Errol Spence is moving up to 154 as well, officially. He's supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora. They got to wait for this fight with Bud this weekend to see if both of his titles are going to be on the line or if it's just going to be the WBC belt that Fundora fights Spence for. That fight's supposed to take place in October, going to be Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Big fight for Spence. If I don't come back before then, don't be surprised if Errol Spence loses, but I will be coming back. Boots Ennis took on David Avanesian, dominated him to retain his title. Not sure what Boots is going to get next. Nobody wants to fucking fight him. It's a shame. I hope he can light the fire with Cody Crowley again and get going, or Brian Norman Jr., who's an undefeated American, going to be the WBO champion officially after this weekend, hopefully. So interested in seeing that. Mario Barrios, there was talks about him and Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao looked like shit in his exhibition bout. I don't think Manny's going to fight Barrios. If he does, I think Barrios is going to waste him. If Barrios doesn't get Manny, I think Barrios and Imanta Stanionis will try to unify belts later this year. That's what I think is going to go on. Stanionis came back from a 2-year layoff on the Canelo undercard, looks solid, and he's going to be upgraded to full champion once Bud wins this weekend, barring that he wins. Brian Norman Jr. has probably the win of the year at welterweight right now. His shocking 10th round knockout upset of Giovanni Santillan to capture the WBO interim title. He's likely going to be your new WBO champion once Bud officially becomes a world champion at 154. He's likely going to give up the belt. So look for that. Cody Crowley, tough break for him. He was supposed to fight Ennis. He failed the eye exam. That held him back. So we don't know what's going to happen next with him. That's pretty much it for welterweight. 154, as I said, I'll run through 154. You know what? Let's run through 154 just real quick, just so you guys know, what I'm thinking and everything. Sebastian Fundora had a nice win, hard-fought, bloody victory over Tim Tszyu earlier this year to win the unified title. Nobody saw that coming as he was a late sub opponent. He's likely fighting Errol Spence. That's going to be a good one. That's for October. Tim Tszyu. There was talks that he was coming back against Erickson Lubin. Erickson Lubin has backed out of that IBF eliminator. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Tszyu gets the shot at new champion Bakram Murtazalayev. We'll see how that all shakes out. But Tim Tszyu is going to be coming back. He's going to be pissed off following that loss. Jermell Charlo posted on his social media just a few days ago that he's back and he's coming back to 154. So I'm really interested in seeing what he does. Israel Madrimov has the biggest fight of his career against Bud this Saturday. I got Bud winning that fight, though. But I think Madrimov has a chance to really prove himself following his career biggest win over Magomed Kurbanov earlier this year. Sergey Bohachuk has a huge fight with Virgil Ortiz Jr. That's taking place this August 10th on DAZN. That's a big fight, guys. Do not sleep on that one. That's going to be good. It's for the WBC interim belt. I did a breakdown video of this fight. I got Virgil Ortiz winning that fight, but someone's going to sleep in that fight. Bohachuk, 24-1, 23 knockouts. This dude is the real deal from the Ukraine. And Virgil Ortiz, 21-0, 21 knockouts. That's a fucking great fight August 10th. Do not sleep on that one. Erickson Lubin, not sure what he's going to do. They said he was medically unfit to fight Tim Tszyu. Lubin technically is the highest rated contender in the IBF. So I don't know what the hell Erickson Lubin's going to do next. Very interested in seeing how his situation shakes out. Jesus Ramos got a win coming back. Interested in seeing what he does the remainder of the year. Bakram Murtazalayev, another guy that really he's the new IBF champion, beat Jack Colkay for the vacant belt. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a big name right out the gate because he's a belt holder and this division is just star-studded. So really looking forward to seeing how 154 shakes out for the remainder of the year. It's going to be fucking good. There's a lot of good fighters here. 160 middleweight. We're going to jump into that real fast. Janibek Alamanhalai, Kazakh style. He was supposed to fight Andrei Mikhailevich. He pulled out of that fight with dehydration. I think that fight will probably be restarted. It doesn't look like a showdown with Carlos Adames to unify belts is on the table anymore. I personally think Janibek might beat Mikhailevich, and then we could see Janibek and Hamza Shiraz, his mandatory number one challenger, later this year. I think they might zero in on the Fury Usyk rematch card in December. I could see them two fighting, but Janibek's got to come back soon in order to ensure that one. So we'll see. Carlos Adames successfully defended his title against Terrell Gausha. Looking forward to seeing what he does next. Not sure what's going on with him. We know unification is off the table because the next guy we talk about, middleweight champ, WBA champion Erislandy Lara, got a victory over Michael Zarafa earlier this year and has already signed on for the Canelo co-feature against Edgar Berlanga. Lara is going to fight Danny Garcia, which I think is a joke of a fight, but whatever, they're fighting. I think Lara beats him. Hamza Shiraz has been a breath of fresh air at fucking middleweight. This dude is a beast. He destroyed Liam Williams earlier this year and then followed that up with another big win over Austin Ammo Williams on the 5 versus 5 card that took place June 1st. He stopped him in 10 rounds. It was a competitive fight, too. Ammo Williams did really well. Really looking forward to seeing what Shiraz does in this one. I think he could be fighting Janibek for the end of the year. But he's fighting this upset artist Tyler Denny in September. So we'll see how that shakes out. Chris Eubank Jr., not sure what he's going to do. There was talks about him being one of the finalists to fight Canelo in September. Obviously, Canelo's fighting Edgar Berlanga now. So interested in seeing what he's doing. Liam Smith is fighting Josh Kelly on the big September card on the Joshua Dubois undercard. I got Liam Smith winning that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he loses. And if he loses, what does he do after that? Because he's 35, 36 years old. So interested there. Kyrone Davis, big upset victory over Elijah Garcia. Made himself a player here at middleweight. Honestly, I think Kyrone Davis might land the Carlos Adames title fight at some, later this year. Following that victory. Shane Mosley Jr. dominated Daniel Jacobs. He's staying hot. I think he could move back down to middleweight. I think he could stay at 168. With his name, he'll get a fight. So we'll see what happens there. Austin Ammo Williams, love the way that guy looked. I'm going to throw in Terrell Gausha as well. Love the way both those guys looked in defeat. Gausha that the judges scored that fight with Adames way too wide. He was in that fight. You could have argued that he won. And Austin Williams going against very big Hamza Shiraz on the 5-versus-5 card. He fought his ass off. Looking forward to seeing him get back into action. 168, we kind of covered that already. We know Canelo's fighting Edgar Berlanga. I think it's a joke of a fight, but that's who he's fighting. David Benavidez moved up to 175. Didn't look great, but he got a convincing win over Oleksandr Vocyk. He's the interim champ there as well. It looks like he's going to wait around for the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol, but who's he going to fight in the second half of the year? Is he going to fight at all? Interested in seeing that. Jaime Munguia supposed to be coming back against what's his name? Eric Bazinian. That's supposed to take place, I think, in September. I think they're fighting in September, and he's making his top ranked debut, is Munguia. He's not with Golden Boy anymore. So very interested in seeing him come back. Caleb Plant was supposed to fight in August. Now he's coming back. He's probably going to be pushed back a little bit. He's looking for an opponent. There have been talks about Guia and Caleb Plant fighting if the Turkey comes up with a Mexico versus USA card. So I'm interested in seeing how that shakes out. Sergey Derevyanchenko and Christian Mabili are fighting in a big-time fight, actually coming up on August 17th. I'm going to be doing a breakdown video of that fight soon, so I'm not going to give my prediction here. I'm looking forward to that. That's the biggest fight of Mabili's career as he tries to prove why he wants a title shot and why he's next in line. Sergey Derevyanchenko, just the consummate professional and tough guy. I'm really looking forward to seeing him back in action. David Morrell making his debut this weekend at 175. I already gave my prediction on that. I think he's going to knock out Hot Rod, but I'm interested in seeing what he does. Edgar Berlanga has the biggest moment of his career. We'll see what he does with it. William Skull and Vladimir Shishkin are going to fight for the vacant title as Canelo was officially stripped of the IBF title, and John Ryder retired following his knockout loss to Jaime Munguia earlier this year. So 168, really want to see what happens in this division in the second half of 2024. 175 light heavyweight. We only got 3 divisions left. I'll go through them quick. 175 light heavyweight. Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol is happening October 12th. Undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. I'm favoring Bivol as of right now, but I have not yet done my breakdown video, so that could change. We know David Benavidez is waiting in the wings now as he beat Oleksandr Vocyk impressively. Anthony Yard is still looking at Joshua Buatsi if Buatsi gets past Willie Hutchinson. They're fighting on the September Joshua Dubois undercard. That's going to be good. Other than that, not a lot going on at 175, very top heavy, that division, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the second half shakes out. 200 pounds cruiserweight. Jai Opetaia returned, got a win in a rematch, but had a little scare at the end against Maris Bradis in their rematch. He regained the IBF title that he was wrongfully stripped of. Looking forward to seeing what he does in the second half of the year, because I think if Chris Billam-Smith and Gilberto Ramirez don't get their unification bout, I think Opetaia will fight Billam-Smith. But I do believe Billam-Smith, the WBO champ, who had a big win and avenged his only pro defeat when he defeated Richard Riakporhe in June, I do believe Billam-Smith's going to fight Gilberto Ramirez, who's the new WBA champion. He upset Arsene Goulamirian back in March to capture the title. So I do believe they're going to unify belts. I'm waiting on an announcement there. I hope Jai Opetaia, if that happens, tries to go after WBC champion Noel Gavor. I could see Opetaia fighting on either the Bivol Beterbiev undercard or waiting until December to fight on the Usyk Fury 2 undercard. After that, Maris Bradis, I want to give him a lot of props. He fought his ass off. I'd love to see him come back and give it one more run, even at his age, just because he almost pulled that one off at the end against Jai Opetaia, gave him a big scare. The rest of the division, not a lot going on at cruiserweight. So hopefully we're going to see something happen soon in the cruiserweight division. Some big matchups start getting made very soon, I'm hoping for. And now we're going to finish up with my favorite division, the heavyweights, and take a look at what's going on there. Usyk and Fury had their big historic showdown. Usyk pulled off the victory over Fury in a just a great fight. Almost stopped him. He became undisputed. And then I think he did this to slight Fury because I think the IBF would have allowed him to hold on to the belt through December. But I think he vacated the title on purpose because he's already been undisputed. I think he did it on purpose to Tyson Fury, so Tyson Fury would have to work harder to become undisputed if Fury beats him. I'm really looking forward to their rematch on December 21st. I think it's going to be really good. I think it could go either way. That first fight was good in May, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rematch for the unified heavyweight title now. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. The IBF title's on the line. Daniel Dubois scored a huge upset, beating Filip Hrgović to become the IBF interim champion. And then when Usyk vacated the IBF belt, Dubois was upgraded. Dubois and Joshua will be for the IBF title in the main event of the September 21st card. Really looking forward to that. That's going to be good. Joseph Parker is waiting around. I think he's going to fight Zhilei Zhang in a rematch. He defeated Zhang earlier this year, scoring the upset to become the WBO interim champion. I believe Zhang said the other day that he still thinks the time frame to activate the automatic rematch clause is there. Zhang returned in June on the 5 versus 5 card and brutally knocked out Deontay Wilder to keep himself in the serious mix here in the heavyweight division. I really think Zhang and Parker is probably going to happen. Their rematch could land on the better be a Bivol undercard or on the Usyk Fury undercard later in the year. Filip Hrgović, tough loss to Daniel Dubois. He tried, but he got cut, and Dubois just took advantage of him, just really beat him up. He's going to be starting over from scratch. That was a tough break for him. Talk about tough breaks. Joe Joyce went out there against Derek Chisora just last weekend. Did not look great. No defense at all. I mean, the guy's so tall, had such a height advantage, and he just didn't use any of it. He had the youth advantage. By a couple years. It wasn't by much, but Joe Joyce, just no defense, and it led to his decision loss to Derek Chisora, a tough one. And then Ajit Kabayel, huge victory over Frank Sanchez on the, I think that was a Fury Usyk undercard as well. He came out and just dominated Frank Sanchez, who was the favorite, stopping him. So he is in line he's probably going to get a good opponent later this year. As we discussed earlier, Jared Anderson and Martin Bakole are fighting this weekend on the Crawford Madrimov undercard. I got Anderson winning that fight, but it's going to be close. I think it's a 50-50 fight. We'll see how that shakes out. And you got Andy Ruiz and Jarrell Big Baby Miller also on that card. So, for the rest of August, any predictions, just in case we don't come back before that? I am going to try to get Melly back on the phone or back on a podcast in a couple weeks. But at the very least, I want to do the podcast monthly so we can discuss everything going on in boxing. So I want to get back going early September at the latest. I would like to come back in August again, but if we don't come back until September, that's okay. But that's when I really want to get on and talk about what's coming up in September, but don't miss out. I'm going to be releasing the August boxing schedule. There's a lot of good fights. August 10th, you have Luis Alberto Lopez and Angelo Leo for the IBF featherweight title. Ortiz and Bohachuk. Don't sleep on that. That's going to be great on the 10th. 17th is Mobili and Sergey Derevinchenko. And that's how, so we got some good main events, not a lot of deep cards outside of Crawford and Madrimov, but we got a lot of good main events going on. But don't miss this weekend's fight. Crawford, Madrimov, Cruz, and Valenzuela for the 140-pound title. Big Baby Miller and Andy Ruiz Jr., big heavyweight showdown. David Morrell making his light heavyweight debut against Hot Rod Rodzovic. And then you got Jared Anderson and what's his name fighting as well. Jared Anderson and Martin Bakole in a big heavyweight showdown. This is a good-ass card. Don't sleep on it. Make sure you check it out. And guys, I'm back. I'm glad to be back. I want to give big ups to my boy Melly again. Thank you, Melly, for doing it doing the podcast with me tonight. Again, I'll be back, and I want to do this more frequently. I'm 1,131 subscribers strong, so I want to keep that rolling. So again, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the video later. Check it out in pieces. The podcast, because we're serious and we're back. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is True Boxing. Have a good night. You've been hit with the truth.